Hello friends, today we are learning about the inflammatory heart disease. That three layers of the heart includes the pericardium. It is outermost layer covering the heart, divided into a vascular pericardium and parietal pericardium, then myocardium, then endocardium. Myocardium is composed of bands of involuntary striated muscle fibers, and endocardium includes it is a thin layer of tissue lining the inside of the heart. Okay, as seen in a figure, endocardium, myocardium and pericardial cavity. Now we will start the infectious disease of the heart. It includes the pericarditis, that is cardiac tamponade, myocarditis, endocarditis and rheumatic heart disease. Now first inflammatory disease is a pericarditis, that is inflamed pericardium layer. Then definition of pericarditis includes it refers to an inflammation of the pericardium, membranous sac enveloping the heart. Then cardiac tamponade refers to accumulation of a fluid in pericardial sac due to pericardial infection. It is also called the pericardial effusion. It may be primary or may develop due to variety of medical and surgical disorders. Pericarditis is an inflammatory process of vascular or parietal pericardium. It can be acute or chronic and can spread from or to the myocardium. Okay, this figure shows the pericarditis. Okay, in that pericarditis is in fluid within a pericardium. Compression of the heart due to fluid accumulation within the pericardium. Now the etiology, it includes the idiopathic cause, infection, then disorder of connective tissues like systemic lupus erythematosus, rheumatic fever, scleroderma, hypersensitivity reaction, disorder of nearby structure, radiation therapy of chest, trauma, chest injury, chest surgery, the neoplastic disease, then can be associated with a systemic disease such as the autoimmune disorders, tuberculosis, cancer, leukemia, kidney failure, HIV infection, AIDS and hypothyroidism. Then pathophysiology includes the due to etiological factors, inflammation of the pericardium occur. It leads to the pericardial effusion. It means fluid accumulation, serous purulent blood in the pericardial sac, then increase the intrapericardial pressure. It compress the heart, then so that's why decrease the cardiac output in a patient. Then signs and symptoms include the chest pain is most common complaint, fever, heart failure is rare, pericardial friction rub is heard, then breathing difficulty when lying down and need to bend over or hold the chest while breathing, dry cough, ankle, feet and leg swelling, anxiety, decreased heart sounds and fatigue. Then diagnostic evaluation includes the history and physical examination, ECG, chest X-ray, echocardiography, blood culture, CBC, then pericardiocentesis with chemical analysis and pericardial fluid culture. This is a pericardiocentesis procedure to drain a fluid collection from the pericardium. Then treatment includes the treatment for underlying disease, bed rest, then non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs, corticosteroids, antibiotics, pericardiocentesis for large pericardial effusion. Then management includes the stress, the importance of bed rest, then assist the patient with a bathing if necessary, place the patient in upright position to relieve dyspnea and chest pain, then provide analgesics to relieve pain and oxygen to prevent tissue hypoxia, then assess the patient's cardiovascular status frequently and watching for signs of cardiac tamponade, then monitor the patient's pain level and the effectiveness of analgesics, then explain all tests and treatment to the patient before giving antibiotics, obtain a patient history for any allergy, then tell the patient to resume his daily activities slowly and to reschedule rest periods into his daily routine for a while. Now myocarditis, that is inflammation of the myocardial heart muscles. Definition: myocarditis refers to an inflammatory disease of the myocardium that causes infiltration and injury to myocardial tissue, either Inflammation of the middle layer of the heart wall, the myocardium, it involves the heart's muscle cells and electrical system. Now, etiology includes the idiopathic infection, disorder of connective tissues like systemic lupus erythematosus, rheumatic fever, and scleroderma, hypersensitivity reaction, disorder of nearby structure, radiation therapy of chest, trauma, neoplastic disease, and can be associated with any systemic disease. Then pathophysiology of myocarditis includes the due to etiological factors, an infectious organism directly invades myocardium or systemic infection arises. It leads to the local and systemic immunological and inflammatory reaction. Then inflammation leads to hypertrophy, fibrosis and inflammatory changes of the myocardial layer. Then heart muscles weakens and contractility is reduced, and then after myocarditis arises. Now the signs and symptoms includes the fever, tachycardia, increased blood pressure, abnormal heart rhythm, abnormal heart sounds, chest pain, fatigue, shortness of breath, fainting, often related to arrhythmias, peripheral edema, then other signs suggestive of infection, that is rashes and sore throat. Then diagnostic evaluation includes the history and physical examination, ECG, chest x-ray, echocardiography, blood culture, CBC may show increased WBC count. Then treatment includes the bed rest, low sodium diet, non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs, corticosteroid, antibiotics, digitalis, digoxin to prevent the heart failure, and diuretics to control pulmonary or systemic congestion, and analgesics. Then management includes the monitor for digitalis toxicity, dysrhythmias, anorexia, bradycardia, headache and malaise, and in that digitalis, prior to giving digitalis drugs to the patient, we have to monitor the patient's heart rate. Then apply and instruct patient and family in use of elastic stockings and active and passive exercise. Then instruct the patient to increase physical activity slowly and report symptoms of rapid heart rate upon increasing the activity. Then instruct the patient to avoid competitive sports and alcohol, promote bed rest, continuous cardiac monitoring. Now the endocarditis. Definition: it is an inflammation of the inner layer of the heart, that is the endocardium. It usually involves the heart valves. Then other definition: it refers to an infection of the inner lining of the heart, that is endocardium, caused by direct invasion of bacteria or other organisms leading to deformity of the valve leaflets. Okay, like this way mitral valve and aortic valve may be affected by the endocarditis. Okay. How does endocarditis happen? This occurs when bacteria or other germs from another part of body such as mouth spread through the bloodstream and attach to damaged areas in heart. Etiology: bacterial infection, immunosuppression, intravenous drug use, disorder of nearby structure, then trauma, chest injury, chest surgery. Then predisposing factors includes the congenital heart defects, damaged valves by rheumatic fever, atherosclerosis, artificial heart valves, then may occur after cardiac surgery, any invasive procedures, then minor surgery, dialysis may follow after acute infection of the tonsils, gums and teeth, then immunocompromised patients and drug abusers. Then pathophysiology includes the due to any etiological factors, organism travels in the bloodstream. It leads to attach to the endocardial lining of a normal heart. It leads to forms vegetations, that is clumps of bacteria, fibrin, cellular debris and platelet formation. It leads to the growth of vegetations on heart valves. Then dysfunctional heart valves obstruct the blood flow, and again endocarditis develop in a patient. Then signs and symptoms includes the specific symptoms includes fever and chills, chest pain, abnormal heart sounds, fatigue, shortness of breathing, paleness, sweating, and non-specific symptoms includes the aching joints and muscles, swelling on the feet, legs and abdomen, and unexplained weight loss, tenderness in the spleen, then Osler's knots, that is red painful knots with a white center on the pads of fingers, toes, palms or soles. A late sign of infection is a Osler's node. Now diagnosis includes the history and physical examination, ECG, chest x-ray, echocardiography, blood culture and CBC may show the increased WBC count. Now the complications of endocarditis includes the stroke, organ damage, infections in other parts of the body, and heart failure. Then treatment includes the antibiotic therapy, antipyretics, rest, and surgical valve repair or replacement. Then management includes the provide comfort measures, decrease fever, encourage adequate fluids and nutrition, then complete bed rest if there are signs of valve dysfunction, then assess for signs of heart failure, tachycardia and embolic manifestations, then provide health teachings about cause of infection, prolonged use of antibiotic, prophylactic antibiotics, and preventing reoccurrence of infection. That is, good oral hygiene is most important to prevent the infection. Then monitor signs of recurrence. Now, rheumatic heart disease. Definition of rheumatic heart disease. It is an acute inflammatory reaction involving all layers of heart due to rheumatic fever. Damage to the heart valve is common result of rheumatic fever. Rheumatic fever is a condition in which connective tissue of the body, the heart, joints, brain and skin are swollen. Okay, this figure shows the acute rheumatic heart disease. Okay, it occurs like a after sore throat, beta hemolytic streptococcal infection. It triggers our immune response, okay, in a blood vessels. Then after it develops as a vegetation on the valve and deposition of cross-reactive antibody in a valve, and myocardial escape body develops and fibrinous pericarditis may develop in a patient. Then etiology includes the group A beta hemolytic streptococcal infection, rheumatic fever, upper respiratory tract infection. Now pathophysiology of it includes the causative agents present. It leads to beta hemolytic streptococci. Then rheumatic fever develop. Then all layer of heart become infected and valvular stenosis and regurgitation occurs. And after that rheumatic heart disease develop in a patient. Then signs and symptoms includes the chest pain, heart palpitation, shortness of breath, excessive fatigue, swollen joints. Then diagnostic study includes the history and physical examination, chest x-ray, ECG, echocardiogram and culture test. Then complications includes the valve stenosis, valve regurgitation and damage to heart muscles. Then treatment includes the antibiotic therapy, antipyretics, rest, surgical valve repair or replacement and corticosteroid therapy. Then management includes the provide comfort measures, decrease fever, encourage adequate fluids and nutrition, complete bed rest if there are signs of valve dysfunctions, then assess for signs of heart failure, tachycardia and embolic manifestations, then provide health teaching about cause of infection, prolonged use of antibiotic, prophylactic antibiotics, preventing recurrence of infection, that is good oral hygiene, and monitor signs of recurrence. Hope you like a video. Thank you friends. Please share and subscribe my channel.